All right, B. Whenever you're ready, bro.
All right, bro. So check this out. I wrote this poem, man, and I won't. I just want to recite it. Um, it's called "Jesus is Coming." It's Jesus is the way that you are looking for. He is the door. In the beginning was the Word. And he came and dwelt with man, but mankind didn't recognize because mankind loves sin. It is our nature to be in opposition to him. Yet he laid down his life so we may find ours in him. Harden not your heart when he calls. It is a miracle that we are saved at all. I hope that this calls out to all when he saved me. He can save you too. Glory be to God. That's my point.
I like that. I like
Hey,
that. I like
appreciate
that,
you.
son. I like that. What
Appreciate
uh,
you.
what inspired you to write that piece, bro?
Man, well, I was just thinking about my calling. Uh my calling is evangelism. But I often have a hard time connecting with people and like making new friends and things of that nature. And it like really became like a roadblock to me because like well I want to share things with people, people are often off put by how I look. Like minus the glasses. I take the glasses off, I put a hoodie on, you don't know me from anybody else, like pretty much walking. So it's like if I tried to uh ask this guy about something, he looked shook. And he was just like, why this big dude trying to get my attention? Like he looking around for help. I'm like, oh man, I just really wanted to, ask you about your shirt or whatever. So I realized that one of the strongest ways I can exercise my evangelism is through poetry, and it comes out, and it's a lot more natural for me to do it by poetry than to do it like trying to, just well, really, it's about how I can say it. Like, I can't really, like, I don't really often find the right words when I'm trying to do it on the spot. But if I can do it through poetry, I can find the right, the word that I can express it and be natural to me. Because everything I know is in my head, but once I try to get it out, I'm like, but I get to overthinking and second guessing myself. But when I'm able to write it out in my poetry, it comes out, a lot more natural. So that's what inspired me to write.
I feel that. I feel that, bro.
So
That's
this
definitely
was
beautiful.
originally a this was originally a poetic podcast. So I thought it'd be, you know, in season two we really didn't talk a lot about the poetry aspect. So I was looking at that. Plus, I got another thing. So today I was given a Fago firework, the bomb pop soda. So it's not really a big deal, except when you look it up and find out it was a limited edition drink, and people are selling it on Amazon for like $20 a bottle. And I'm like, I've drank some good pop in my day, not $20. A $20 a $20 soda. I don't see it. I don't see it. But it was gifted to me, so I got it. So it was pretty dope.
That's good, bro. That's good, man. Um, welcome everybody to another episode of Reset the Vibe podcast. I am one of your hosts. I'm Vash.
There he is.
And Cam is not with us today. Unfortunately, he is out of town, but he'll be back with us next week. My man just be traveling, bro. I mean, I swear he
Man,
travel about 3 or 4 times a month or something. See, that's the real celebrity. That's a superstar right there. See,
Right. He be moving. He be moving. He be moving. I don't know. Like he better man than me. Y'all better man than me. Like Plain,
planes ain't bad, bro. It's
everybody
not
say
bad.
that.
Like I like it. I don't know if I like it more than trains. With trains, I feel like there's more scenery to look at. But as far as like efficiency and getting you point A to point B faster, it'd be the plane. I just don't like the process that it takes to get on a plane. You know what I mean? Like, uh,
No, I don't know what you mean. 'Cause I ain't never
okay,
been
so
on
you
no
don't know.
flight.
So you have to get there. But once you get your ticket, in order for you to get to the side to where the planes are,
Mm-hmm.
um, you got to go through TSA. And TSA, they check everything that you got. You know what I'm saying? You got to take off your belt buckle, like all these other things go to metal checks. They got to check your bags. You know, like it's like they got measurements of like you can only bring a certain amount of like lotion, like in a bottle, like it got to be a certain size. Like it's a whole bunch of stuff. And if you're not used to traveling, the TSA does not make it any welcoming for you at all, bro. Like they look at you and be like, "Yo, come on, let's go." Because like literally, I remember because I think it was like my first time flying, and I don't know how long. I don't know if I've ever flown before. I could have sworn I've done when I was a kid, but I remember getting there, and then I was kind of sort of confused as like what sort of line to go to and everything else. This is like 3 or 4 lines that you go to, right? It's this big line that you got to go through initially, but then it splits off into like 3 or 4 lines so they can get people through, like multiple people through. And like I remember it was my turn to get called up or whatever to go to one of the lines. And, I'm just sitting there trying my best not to, I'm trying to make sure I'm not messing nothing up, right? It's my first time flying or whatnot. I'm not trying to sit up there and cause commotion and whatnot. Yo, I'm just like, yo, tell me where to go. I'm looking like a deer in headlights. And I know this because the guy calls me like, yo, what you doing? What you waiting on? Come on, let's go. And I'm looking like, bro, okay, I get what you're saying. And you've probably been here all day and you get tired of this job telling people what to do every day. Cause like, I understand. I understand. I work in fast food. And when people come in there and act like they don't know how to order or it's their first time ever ordering anything, I myself get a little bit, bro, what are you doing right now? Come on. You know what you want. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
it's an experience, right? But once you go through TSA and then you go off on the other side, it's like smooth sailing over there. You know what I'm saying? They got like little restaurants, they got souvenir shops. Obviously you can board the plane and all of this other good stuff. So it's not bad, bro. It's not bad. I like the taking a train too, but the train, like I said, like it's slower because you gotta make multiple stops and also the layovers. I don't necessarily like train layovers versus a plane layover. You know what I'm
Is
saying?
it a is it a certain time frame?
Layovers it can range from anything, bro. It can range from a couple of hours, can range from like an hour to maybe like even a day or something like the most extreme cases or something like that. But I don't know, man. Like it's just there's a bunch of things for you to do inside of the airport as far as there being restaurants and stuff for you to walk to and everything else like that. Most
Mm-hmm.
train stations, they don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, yo, you come here, you sit down, you board your train and whatnot, and that's it. Otherwise, it's just nothing mostly but seatings.
Cap, bro. Because when I went to Pittsburgh, I had my layover. Oh, bro, I was all through that town every time. Every time I go, I know that place like back of my hand. I know how to get to Strawberry Way. I know how to get to the Art Institute. I know how to get to the Models down the street from the Art Institute. I know how to get everywhere. Like the times I went, I learned that city. Mm-mm. I get to get out and go explore. I feel like if you leave the airport and you try to come back and you got to go through that whole hassle, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
Yeah,
Amtrak, you just gotta don't lose your ticket. That's it. Do not lose your ticket.
yeah, yeah. Like with airports, you can go outside, but like I said, you got to go back to the whole TSA and the bag check-ins and like all the other stuff all over again. But yeah, you definitely got to do that. But yeah, bro,
Yeah.
planes ain't that bad. You got to do at least once, bro. Please, at least once.
Everybody everybody keep telling me that. I ain't too sure about it. I mean, yeah, I ain't too sure.
Son,
My
listen,
feet ain't
if
only
you,
time my feet left the ground is I got slammed. Um
bro,
I
if
got slammed. I was
listen,
jumping. I was
listen,
climbing. That was it. Other than
listen,
that, my feet don't typically leave the
listen. Eventually, you're gonna be blessed with the opportunity to go outside the country. Okay, all right, Lord
ground.
willing, son.
Lord
Gonna,
willing.
gonna take a plane, bro. Gonna have to take that plane, dog. I'm telling you. You don't want to take a boat. I wouldn't take a boat.
Hey, crazy part. I was just talking about that today, cause man, one of the bosses at my job, he had just came back from out of town, and I was telling him, I'm like, he's like, oh, you scared of planes? I'm like, yeah. I mean, not like I'm like, oh, it's a plane, but it's like, yeah, height. No, I don't really do height. So he was like, yeah. He's like, it's all right. I'm like, I would much rather take a boat than a plane. I've worked on a boat before. I worked in the kitchen on a boat. It's way like I had way more peace on a boat in Lake Michigan than I think I would have like on a plane. And like most people get seasick. I don't get seasick.
I don't get seasick either. My thing with boats, for one, I can't swim, right? But I think about all of the horrible things that could go wrong because let's face it, when we're talking about traveling on plane, train, boat, we always think about the worst things, not the good things. We always think about the bad things. Plane crashes, that's terrible. You can't do anything. It is what it is, unfortunately. With the boat, like imagine it being like the weather just turns to crap somehow, some way, and like there's big, gigantic waves, bro, and that boat goes under, and it happens at night. So now you're underwater at night, and if it ain't no moon out, my guy, it's darkness. Son, the fear in that alone would drown me. Okay, I could be like this far away from the surface of water, and all I got to do is just swim up or look up, and I will be cool. Nah, bro, my anxiety would be through the roof. So I feel like I can handle a plane and a train way better than I'll be able to handle a boat, bro.
Okay, so check this out. So I was working on one of the boats. Really, really, it's a yacht. Like, so I'm working on one of them. Right, I'm working in the kitchen, and they like, yo, I need you to run this food. I ran my own buffet, right? So they're like, yo, I'm like running low on it, but they like, we ain't have enough help. They're like, run this down here to the kitchen. You gotta switch out, you know what I'm saying, your food, your trays. So I'm like, cool. So I get somebody to watch it for me. I go down the back, like so, like the way it was, you could either go downstairs, like and walk through like the front of the house and then walk into the kitchen downstairs. But it was so many people, I don't think I wanted to do that. So I'm like, the shortcut is to go out onto the deck and then go down and I'm immediately at the kitchen, no traffic. Well, it was raining that day. So water's a little choppy, nothing new, because I don't get motion sick. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I'm walking and I slipped because the boat rocked. When I say my heart sank, bruh, my heart ain't never sank like that before. Because the first thing I thought was, yo, I got on this chef's jacket. I got on a heavy chef jacket and it's buttoned up. How would I have gotten it off? Because once water get on that thing, it's heavy. It's heavier. So I'm like, okay, how was I even gonna get that off? And I'm like, even if I got that off, I'm in the middle of Lake Michigan. It's raining. It's choppy waters. So it's like waves. I'm like, how was I gonna swim to safety? Boy, I was shook for like maybe like 2 weeks. I would not take that back way down there, the back way down the stairs to the kitchen. I don't care how many people was down there. Boy, I was maneuvering through people sliding past it. Man, look, uh,
Hey, man, like I said, bro, like
don't carry me to
it's
that.
I can't do it. I can't do it. But change gears a little bit. Wanted to talk to you. Um, so I'm about to be 30 this year, right? I'm about to be 30 in December. So I have
For sure.
lived some life. Not a lot of life, but I have lived some life.
Hmm.
I've made some decisions, made a lot of decisions, some good, some bad. You know, but what I wanted to get to today is essentially like, um, you know, your childhood, your upbringing, like how did that, or maybe it didn't for you. How did that? Um, how did you get from point A to point B? Like, was your childhood like really a heavy factor in the person and the man that you are today? Or was it kind of sort of a factor? Was it a non-factor? You're way different than you were as a child. Like what?
Okay, I am way different than I was as a child. Well, I shouldn't say way different. I'm gonna say I'm more different than I was as a child because I'm not. I don't think I'm completely different. I would hope so. Well, I hope I am. That's my hope that I'm different. But I don't think that. No, I take that back because I'm thinking of that in a different way. All right, so scratch what I just said. I am different than I was as a child. But like, 'cause that is a difficult question. So are you saying like with my upbringing, did it have any bearings on who I became or who I'm becoming, or
Yes.
did it have? Okay. Uh, I would say up until my mid 20s. I would say up until my mid 20s, yes. My childhood had a lot to do with it. I had been, um, like just exposed to a lot of different things, and some good, some bad. Um, and it kind of, how can I put this? It kind of put me in a weird space. But like, you got to give me an example so I can know, because you asking and I'm trying to follow,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
like I meet me where
No,
we going. What we doing?
I got you. I got you. So I can go. So I can give you an example. So my upbringing, like my parents were both heavily in the church, um, and by an extension of that, or an inclusion of that, I don't know the right phrase, but so were both sides of the family, right? So my dad is a deacon, but his family was, what I'm saying, enriched in the church. My mom, the same thing. My grandfather was a pastor. My uncle was a deacon, then turned to a pastor. Like it was just a whole bunch of like church things. And not necessarily the religion portion, because the religion portion came, it's happening now, right? But as far as what the teachings were from Christianity, from the Bible, and just from the people that they were, from how they grew up, it had a lot of weight on who I was as a kid. Um, I was always caring. I was always non-judgmental, at least to a certain extent. To a certain extent, because back then it was like the Dare campaign and like, yo, you see somebody smoking or whatnot, that's not cool, stay away. Like all that stuff, right? So there was some judging, right? But it wasn't stuff that was hammered into me. It was stuff, you know what I'm saying, like society wise to keep me out of trouble, whatnot. But anyway, uh no, bro, like my parents, they did an amazing job. They did the best that they could. And a lot of the lessons and stuff that they taught me still hold weight to me today. And it's still and a lot of it still has a bearing on who I am today. You know what I'm saying? Obviously I've learned some stuff on my own through walking with life and my own decisions, but a lot of it had a lot of weight on who I am today. Like I said, like with the judging and stuff, like I have such a variety and range of friends. I'm not talking about how many friends I got. I'm talking about like the diversity of friends that I have, right? From all different kind of walks of life, whether you agree with it, whether you don't. I got some friends that's atheists. I got friends that's not atheists. I got friends from other religions, people that's gay, people that's not gay, like people that's Republican, people that's Democrat, like black, white, all different races. Like it just goes on and on and on, but that's how I was raised. Like I was raised to treat everybody the same. You know what I'm saying? To love everybody the same and not treat nobody different than me. You know, and I think that point was hammered in more like once you got into school and once you started learning stuff about us black people being slaves. You know what I'm saying? Like, what right do I have to put somebody down and judge them and think differently of them because they look different than me or they act different than me or something like that when my ancestors was put to work and still to this day, you know what I'm saying? Still to this day we get looked down upon for skin color and stuff like that. So uh yeah, I don't know if that example worked for you or confused you more, but
No, no, it helped. It helped. Um, um, okay, so mine was different from yours, obviously. Now, I have a mom. Well, I have a mom, and um, my life kind of started off a little. It started off way different, and it's like just it's really I don't want to call it ironic, but it's also a beautiful thing. Um, so my mom did not come to Christ, I think, until like shortly, maybe not like shortly after I was born. Like maybe not too long after I was born. I'm not really sure on the time frame, but I remember growing up in the house, hearing house music, uh, rap. You know what I'm saying? So like I grew up in this environment where and like my dad, my dad grew up in a two-parent household. You know what I'm saying? So it was a little weird for me because I never like my granddad passed when the year I was born, so I never got to meet him. Well, my granddad on my dad's side, so I never got to meet him. And my grandmother had remarried because my mom's dad passed when she was really young. So I've always, but she was remarried by the time I was born. So the man she married, that's my granddad because that's who I've always known. But I've always kind of seen this like one parent household dynamic. But it's nothing too much of how my parents grew up. They grew up seeing their parents be married. But anyway, so I kind of grew up with that. But my mom, like later on, like as I was growing up, I probably said I was maybe like 4, 5, around the time she got saved. I'll have to ask her. But I remember the switch into life had, as I had knew it, which was the rap, the hip hop, the you know what I'm saying, that everything, just that everything secular to straight hardcore Baptist Bible teaching, you know what I'm saying, preaching, and it was just like a complete culture shock to me. I was just like, what's going on? Like, this, like, why are you taking my Pokemon card? Why are you taking my Yu-Gi-Oh card? Like, what is this? And
Oh man.
I remember being so just shocked. Like I couldn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh no more. And then she would explain it, but I was too young to get it at the time, So all I
Right.
know is just like you taking away all the stuff that I like. What do what is this? So on the opposite end of that, when I would go spend time with my dad, and the couple times I went to go live with my dad, it was a completely different world than when I was with my mom because he didn't force me to go to church. He didn't make me go to church. He didn't go to church himself. Or something. So he could have went independent of me, but I didn't know. So like that's why I'm watching Scarface. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching Motives. I'm watching all these movies, City of God, all these crazy movies, and I'm just like meeting all these different people from different walks of life, and I'm just like, and it's completely different than than being with my mom. So it was like this duality. Like my mom, I know we was going to church every Sunday, Bible study on Wednesday. Uh, if we got any fellowship events, we got to be at those because ain't too many people babysitting us. And so it was like I was immersed in this this church culture that at a young age I didn't really want. But I was so young that all I knew was I want to have fun. You know what I'm saying? So it was it was kind of like it was kind of weird growing up in that kind of a dynamic because I was exposed to a little of this, and a little of this, or a lot of this, and then a lot of this, and then it kind of like it kind of wavered. So I guess that's like in terms of it having an effect on me as a child um, into a man. Um, I grew up kind of double minded in that because I never knew which way to really be because it's like I like I like all the gangster rap stuff, but my mama talking this truth about hell and heaven and and Jesus and angels, and I'm like, I'm trying to see what that's like because I want to go to heaven. It's like, but this other life is also it's just so attractive. Like I get to, I get to hang out and I get to watch all these movies. My mom won't let me watch. My dad, you know what I'm saying? He'll let me watch Yu-Gi-Oh, play video games. You know what I'm saying? And be and what I thought was being a kid, which he was trying to, allow me to be a kid and grow. But um, but my mom was trying to train me into righteousness, so it was kind of weird. And I'm not saying that to knock my father in any kind of way, because he raised me to, with what he had. But it's like now, as being a person, who believes in Jesus, now it's like, it's, like I just look at it like, that was a training place for me. Like I got to see, you know what I'm saying, like the different sides of life. But it also came with understanding. So it was like, even then at a young age, I understood right and wrong. You know what I'm saying, to a
Hmm.
certain degree. But also judgments got passed. So I'll pass off judgments on on the Christian lifestyle because I thought the worldly lifestyle was a lot more fun. And then when I would get in then I would see the bad that that happens or that gets done, then I'll pass judgment. So I was always kind of bouncing in between because it was just like a struggle. It was always that struggle. So I would definitely say it definitely had a tremendous effect on me growing up, for sure.
yeah, man. Like it's interesting to see to just take a look back. You know what I'm saying? Of like
Yeah,
where you came from and the things that you had to overcome to be who you are now. You know what I mean? Uh, what I've learned is like parents try to prepare you the best that they can, but life, eventually, you just got to learn life. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's like a parent can tell you like, yo, listen, I understand that you cool with all your friends and elementary school, high school, you know what I'm saying? You got all these grand plans of going to the same college together and being best friends forever and stuff. You know what I mean? Or even to put it even more simple terms, like, you know, you get your first love and you just think like, yo, we finna be together forever. Like this is the best feeling in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like this feeling is not gonna go away and stuff like this. And you tell your parents and you know, they can try their best to tell you or try to warn you, you know, protect you because that's what they want to do. But at a certain point, you know, you just gotta learn life, bro. And it's those things that we learn that also have an effect on us and who we become, you know, because not a lot of people can say that they got in their first relationship and it worked out. That's the person that they married, they got kids, they happily like it's rare. You know what I mean? For a lot of us, we had to go through that heartbreak. And in my experience, you got one or two ways to go when you go through your first heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? It either goes, you get your heart broke, you don't want to deal with it, so you just share your pain. And then eventually you've shared it for so long, you become jaded. You know what I mean? Like, so you go from hurting people to now you hurting people, but you also jaded with the fact of anything of, you know, the love thing. Or you go about it in a way where it's just like, man, I got my heart broke. All right, let me go. My friends cheering me up. If you just so happen lucky to have, you know what I'm saying, some caring friends like that, or you know, that type of support, even from your family or whatnot, of just to be like, all right, you got knocked down. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna get better. And then, you know, it's like a healthier way to move on. You know what I'm saying? Like those things they hold not not to say it like it I'm not saying it's more important than what you learned when you started off as a kid in childhood, but those lessons do hold some weight. They definitely do hold some weight. Um like 'cause I remember when I like when my ex broke up with me and whatnot, and I wanted to just write off relationships in general. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to just be like, I want everybody to feel like how I felt. And I was blessed enough to have a sister that sat there and told me, like, yo, everybody's not gonna be like that. You know what I mean? Like everybody is not her. Nobody is her but her. So therefore you can't treat everybody the same. Because everybody is not gonna be out to hurt you. Everybody is not gonna be out to play you or nothing like that. You're gonna find somebody. Just don't be out here being a dog, being disrespectful, none of that. And that spoke to me. You know what I'm saying? Because without her words, I would have went off to the whole other side of things. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro, like it definitely holds some weight. So let me ask you, since I just did my example, like what's some lessons that life taught you that helped you to become the man you are today?
well, it's not that it's not even that it has stopped. Like, and I want to say this in regards to my father, because I don't want to, paint him in a bad light because he's not a bad person. He's actually one of the most caring persons I know. And I learned a lot from him, like through our ups and downs, through you like hard, discipline. All children see discipline as a harsh thing. But it always comes from a place of love, and I know it's like, it's hard to really gauge when that is when you're a child. Um, and so that's one thing I can say life taught me. Discipline is not a bad thing.
It's not.
Like when you receive discipline, it's never a bad thing. It's in our nature to be defensive when we do receive discipline. It's in our natural nature to want to defend ourselves against that because it bruises the ego and the image that we have in our head of who we are. But if we submit to that, we can find a lot of love in that discipline. Because most discipline, but I know abuse is real, so I'm not gonna speak to any, like in that sense. But just in the case of of discipline when it's necessary, and in a when it's rightly used, it's so much love in it that if we put ourselves to the side to look at how much love is in the discipline, we can learn and grow. That's one thing life has taught me. Like to stop, because like it was a point where I was young, and I've always been the type where uh, I took correction harshly. Now it's not that I didn't listen; I just took it harshly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I took it it'll run deep. Like you just play me, it'll run deep. It'll be like, you about hate me, don't you? You know what I'm saying? Like that was, the way I saw it. But like as I get older, I realize that, when somebody disciplines you, especially somebody when they discipline you in a loving way, and they actually care and they love about you, it's always out of love. And it's never out of um, a need to feel bigger than you or better than you. You know what I'm saying? It's always out of love. So that's one thing uh, life taught me. And I want to say this: one thing my dad taught me was how to be a help.
How to be a
That's
help.
one person, how to be a help. And I know that sounds weird, but that man will help anybody he knows. Like, like maybe even people you don't know. Like I wasn't, always with him, but like, man, you ask him for anything, if it's in his power to do so, he'll do it. And that taught me a lot about helping people. Now, of course, I was hard headed, so I didn't take to the lesson initially. You know what I'm saying? Being young and being really self centered. But as I get older, I learned that it's better to be a help. It's actually a blessing to be a help. So that's things that I've learned. As far as that.
I feel that. I feel that, man. Um, man, bro, like I, you're a parent. So maybe you've already experienced this, or maybe well, if you haven't experienced it, you will experience it, right?
Hmm.
I don't think parents, I don't think parents know exactly what sticks and what doesn't stick when they teach their child stuff, or even if it's just like a normal conversation of what is going to stay in that child's mind for the rest of their life. You know what I'm saying? Because, like,
Hmm.
I know one of the things that my mom, she told me, one of the lessons was you treat people with kindness and respect because you don't ever know what they got planned for you. Right. And when she meant that more or less for like um people I know, you know what I mean? Not necessarily strangers. I mean, yeah, to be kind, not judge strangers and all the other good stuff, but obviously they wouldn't be having nothing for me. You know what I mean? But like as far as like family goes or friends or something, like just to be kind to them because I remember I was acting wild. I was acting nuts. I think my report card was bad. I don't know, bro. I was just being a kid. And I remember my mom, um, I saw her, no, my aunt came over and my sister and my grandma and my mom was in the living room. They had bags packed, bro. They had bags packed. Didn't tell me a thing. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, well we going out of town. We finna go." I forgot where they went. They was going somewhere. It was like a vacation type bill. And I'm like, "Well, where am I? Like y'all? Why come you didn't tell me?" You know what I'm saying? She's like, "Do you think that you deserve to go anywhere with how you've been acting?" And like, I couldn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to say something, but I couldn't say something because like my whole heart sank. It dropped. It was like, dang. My mom was right about that. What she said. She said I should. And then at that moment, it was just like I should listen to my mom more. My mom is pretty smart. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a yo, do what your mom says because she's your mom type of deal. Like, no, it's more than that. Like my mom, she got some smarts to her. And that was a lesson. And that's a lesson that I still hold true to this day. You know what I'm saying? Um, but with that, uh, I want to ask this last question for you, for us, I should say. So, with you being the person that you are today, if you could get yourself to the place that you are right now without having to go through everything that you went through, would you do it? Or would you do it everything exactly the same?
Well, let me respond to what you initially stated. You didn't ask what you stated. Um, but as a parent, I have no clue what's gonna stick to my child, except, but I can have an idea. It'll be what they see I model and some of what I might say. Now, like everything regarding what I try to teach them is a hit and miss. Now, as far as I've understand and been told and that I've experienced, we hold a lot of information in from the things that our parents taught us. But a lot of it comes from what we see modeled in front of us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying by them. So no, I don't know what I try to teach will stick, but I know what they see me do, they'll see that for sure. That'll be the first evidence, of anything I teach them. So that's just a reply. I don't think most parents understand. Not even, not us humans. Let me say that. Not us humans. But as far as would I do things differently, I would like to think yes. Of course, I don't know I don't know everything, like what's ahead of me in the days to come.
Right.
But with what I do know, yeah, I would do a lot of I would do some things different. Um I would be a lot more honorable. I would speak. I would barely, if at all possible, not speak at all. Um, I'm serious, bro, because one thing we always misunderstand, or I think I'm gonna say this. I think one thing is humans we take for granted is the things that we say. You know what I'm saying? We often speaking in a culture we have today. It's often speaking to mock or scoff or make light of serious things. And it's not enough listening. It's not enough being quiet and absorb watching or observing. So I see like like that would be one thing I can say for sure. I would be, I would shut my mouth a lot more often. Just nothing, nothing. Let the chips fall where they may, whether people feel off put by it or they welcome it. I would just talk a lot less. I would have said a lot less. So yeah, like if I could go back and change and still get here, yeah, I would talk a lot less. Yeah,
I feel
I,
that.
I would do I would do a couple things different. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What about you, bro?
Uh, I, initially, I wanted to say no, um, and I think that's pride talking. Uh, putting pride to the side. No, I would do. I would do a lot of things differently. Um, I think the most two things. I would be more assertive. Like I would up, speak my mind more. As far as me when I was younger, um, and the other thing is, bro, I would just be out of people's business. I think a lot of my stress when I was a teenager, heading into like early 20s and whatnot, was I was taking on a lot of things that weren't my own, things that weren't I didn't even have no business being a part of. You know what I mean? Like because I always wanted to help people and I always wanted to help people find solutions and things like that. So I became the person that everybody went to talk to and ask for advice and everything else like that. And not only just to ask for advice, but I actually used to do action. You know what I'm saying? I actually used to physically be there. You know what I'm saying? With conversations with people, having conversations with they girlfriends or boyfriends and stuff like that. Me playing mediator and stuff like that. And while the sentiment is greatly appreciated or whatnot, uh, I think me sticking my nose where it didn't belong caused a lot more stress as if I would have just kept myself out of people's business. Because I used to take people's burdens and stuff and make them my own, bro. I used to just put that on my back along with the stuff that I was dealing with myself. And that caused a whole bunch of stress. So now I'm sitting here, I'm stressed out about what you're going through in your life and how to fix it and how to make it better so you could be happy. But I'm also dealing with my own mess that I'm not even addressing because I'm so busy focused on everybody else's stuff. You know what I'm saying? And nobody told me to do that. I decided to do that on my own because at that and at that time I thought that was how I could help people. Like I said, the sentiment was nice. It was appreciated. But at the end of the day, you gotta let people figure out stuff they own. You know what I'm saying? You can still be there for somebody and be supportive of them when whatever they're going through without being in their business. And that was the line, that was a thing that I had to learn. You know what I'm saying? And after years of actually being in it and then saying, no, I'm not going to be in it, I'm just going to keep to myself and not be in nobody's business. Oh, I got happier. I got way happier. You know what I'm saying? It was like a weight lifted off my shoulders because it's like, all right, I don't have to worry about somebody hating their sister and like they having like some type of family feud or something and how I'm going to try to help and fix and restore a family so they can all be all wholesome together like a Disney Channel movie. Like, bro, if I could go back to myself, if I could go back in time and talk to myself and explain it to myself when I'm young, I'm like, bro, what are you thinking right now? Why? I get like I understand the beauty that you're trying to do, but no, you're making more work for yourself. So yeah, that's what I would change um, if I could. You muted right now, bro.
My
There you
bad.
go.
All right,
You
yeah,
good.
my fault. Yeah, I want to say. Let me say this. Man, one thing my pastor would constantly tell me, and she was like, "You gotta learn to let God be God."
Mm,
And that used to, and it used to hit home because I'd be like, I sure am trying to take the reins of my own life. Like I'm trying to control every aspect of it. And she would just try to hammer that home. But I've always been hard headed. I don't like the fact that I'm hard headed because I like to think that I listen initially, but the evidence of that is remained to be seen. So I gotta admit where I fall short. I have a heart because I think I get the information. And I think because I got it, that me having it is me applying it. But that's two
right.
different things. You can I don't think I've ever understood that as deeply as I did from when I just stated it. But it's like, yeah, you can get it. Like, so you can understand what a person is relating to you. If I tell you, hey man, drugs is bad. And you can understand from an intellectual standpoint, yeah, drugs is bad.
Right.
But it means nothing if you won't apply it. So I will be like, yeah, I get it, I gotta stop. I gotta let God be God. But then I will still try to take the reins of my own life. But I'm like, well, I understand it. And I think because I understand it, I mean I got it. No, no. No, not even in the least bit, bro. So I mean, I just hope they can be a blessing to somebody else, man. Like, but man, like, bro, it's some things. Yes, if I had a second chance, what I would do it. I'll do it all over again, man. Look, I'll run that gauntlet. I'll be like, you ever seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yeah.
Where he kept losing, but he
Yeah.
kept getting, he got the redo, and he was cutting it to get cut through. Man, look, man, I'll be cut through all that nonsense. I'm like, yeah, stop it. Nope, stop what you're thinking right there. Yep, cut that out. Yep, nope, just keep walking. Don't stop. Just keep walking. Yep, there you go. Man, all right. Man, look, people be, people think how they think, man, but I can't be one of the ones that's like, yeah, no, I made some choices that I'm like, if I had the chance to do that again and walk past that situation, whew, I don't think I'll turn my neck. You have been in a relationship. I know you're in a relationship now, but man, and you see a woman walk past and you like, it's in your mind, like, I bet not even look like I'm about to turn my head. No, I'm finna I what he tell Buddy in life, he was like, eyes front, mister. He like, I ain't doing nothing. Like, man, look straight. Don't look slightly to the left, right. Just look straight. That's what I would do. Look at them situations. I'm like, nah, man, I'm straight. I'm gonna beeline it on the head. For
No,
real.
bro. I definitely feel that. Um, this is good though. It's a little short today, but it's cool though. It's cool. Like I like this. I like this little format. This is supposed to be episode 50, but I think this is
Don't
we just
call
gonna
that.
make this. We're gonna need to make this either 49 and a half or like a bonus episode because I want Cam to
I
be here for
I
50. We need him to be here
I
for 50.
I no, it's 50. I knew you was gonna do that. Like as soon as you was like, I don't know if we should make this episode 50, I was like, I was finna say, I know you're not finna say 49 and a half. No, no, this is 50. This is I'm like, I know he not about and then you like 49 and a half. No, this
It'll be
50.
fine. It'll be 50.
50.
It'll be
No,
50.
50.
50.
50.
No, that's gonna be the name of the episode too.
50.
Episode 50.
50.
50.
50. What
Oh
episode of
man.
50?
Man. No, but
Yeah.
like I like this, bro. I like this. One day, see, we gotta have like a talk like this when Cam is here. Cause Cam just be missing out, man. But it's cool though, because we've
All
been
the good
missing out. Go ahead.
because we got to do another faith based episode, bro. That Cam in because he was
He was not happy. He like, how y'all gonna do the faith-based episode and I'm not here? It's like,
No,
oh,
it's the truth. It's the truth. No, we definitely got to do it. And I haven't. And I'm assuming that you haven't. We haven't seen Black Messiah this week. No, I'm gonna see it next week because
I feel like
I was
when
gonna
you
see
bring
it
it
this
up,
week. No, see, I was gonna see it this week, but I was like, well, he's not gonna be here, so I'd rather watch it and then have it fresh in my mind, and then come in and talk to him
so
about it.
so you gonna say this on wax.
Yeah,
So he has something to refer back to later on
that's
when
fine.
you don't watch it.
That's fine. And then
Cause
when
he
we
gonna
get,
be like, no. On episode 50, you was like, hey, he out of town. I ain't gotta watch it. Oh man.
oh, listen,
You
man,
know he gonna watch this.
that's fine. But it didn't make no sense for us to sit up there and watch it, and then he not here to discuss it, and then we gotta wait a whole another week, bro. Like, no, man, I need that momentum going. I need to watch it. I need to watch it like 10 minutes before we start recording, and I'll be like, yo, so I think Messiah, man. We can have that conversation. And you know what's gonna be crazy is that if this movie is trash or mid to me, and I say, yo, first off, he's gonna be upset. Second of all, I'm gonna be upset that we did all of this hooting and hollering to watch this movie all for it to be mid, bro.
I told him, I told that man, I looked up the documentary, man. I don't know why I gotta watch it. That's like making he like it ain't the same. It's like, bro, I'm watching it twice.
Well, see, that's the thing
Man,
though. See, that's the thing though. You can watch it, and then if it really is the same thing twice, you can let him know. You know what I mean? Listen, I just want him to not have this over our head no more, bro. Okay, like this is like a rainy cloud every time. Every time we do this pod, it's that one rainy cloud that's always. Oh, you seen Black Messiah yet? No. All right, I'm about to rain now. No, bro, I'm tired of being rained on. So we finna watch this.
no. Man, rain is how flowers grow, man. You know how much rain it takes to water a tree?
I understand that, but seeing how he told us about this, what? Not last year, earlier this year,
Hey
bro.
man,
Listen, man. I
I
got.
think we look I think we're looking at it the wrong way.
So how should we be looking at?
We should be looking at this like he want us to watch this. But this could be our Marshall and what's buddy name? Barney slap contest. This could be our version of the slap contest. Like at any given moment, he could just bring up the fact that we never saw this movie. Even though we told him, even though we told him that we would, and he gets unlimited time. Well, not
I
unlimited. You
want.
get him.
See, my thing is, I want him to watch a horror movie. That's all I want. And it ain't even got to be that. It ain't even got to be that scary. That's all I want. That's all I want. Like I just want insurance because if this movie is mid, bro,
Like, do we have to do the like Eepert and Roper? Like, we gonna rate? Cause like, I ain't gonna lie. When I dreaded watching Malcolm and Marie, it was just because you wanted to talk about it that I watched it, and I just so happened to like it. That's rare. That is rare. And I was like, hey, this is actually really good. This is very okay. I like this. And now it's like, if I see that, it's it's so much hype. It's so much hype around it that now it's like, if I see it and I'm not moved at all, I'm just gonna be like, yo,
I
he
feel like
had
I feel like that's how it's gonna be for me. I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like that's how it's gonna be for me. It's like, yo, so I watched it. I wasn't moved. I wasn't perturbed, bro. Like it wasn't like none of that, y'all. I wasn't none of that. But look, we gonna save that for next week.
sure.
Like I said, Can will be back with us next week. And we'll be on episode 51 next week. So it's all good. Thank y'all for joining us. Like I said, Cam's not here this week, but he'll be with us next week. Anything you want to say, Darius, so we let the good people go?
For the rest of these 10 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
it's Fiddy. Fiddy, Fiddy 1, Fiddy 2, etc. Ain't no 50. We know how to say 50 in its proper enunciation. It's Fiddy for the rest of the time. Fiddy. Fiddy 1, Fiddy 2, all the way down.
So are we doing it with 2 T's or 2 D's?
It ain't, as far as I know, it ain't never been with 2 T's, but okay.
Son, listen, man. Some people look, bro. I ain't know. Maybe you want to be different. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I don't think it got to be 2 D's because it don't come across. It don't come across the same way in my mind. Cause it's like itty, fitty. No, it fitty. Is you gotta add that D in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Cause that
Okay.
D drop the D drop the voice to that baritone level. That's what you want. Fitty.
Okay. I get you. Thank you
All right.
again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for another episode of Reset the Vibe podcast. I'm Vash.
Absolutely.
That's Darius. That's Darius. As always, people, be kind to one another, look out for one another. Love.